Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another Designer Studio episode. Today we're taking a look at, well, the Deuce and a Half CCKW lineup.
Yep, this is all of them. Because I only made 3.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see the lineup come back with, kind of like what we were talking about with the Soviet armor lineup, having them integrate
just
a little
integrate,
nicer
yeah,
together.
because it goes from release order to from like February, July to August, and yeah, I only made 3 this year because why not?
By the way, Sergeant Nate, everybody.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I exist for now. So we haven't really had much of a CCKW since like 2018, back when I worked at the MOA store. By the way, I got copy number 3 of that one, so haha. Anyways, yeah, so I kind of went about myself last November-ish to start designing the new ones, and
Did you start? You started with the bigger one, right? Just on your own personal time.
Yeah, personally, I started with the bigger one, then it transitioned to the smaller one. I was kind of working on both of these around the same time, both with the hard tops and the canvas tops. And the reason, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I know technically speaking for the Red Ball Express, they typically use the 353s, the long beds. But one, I was told to do a long bed for Korea. And also, from what I can tell, Korea only had the long beds with
Almost
this
exclusively,
top.
yeah, right.
And also, from what I can tell, no one's ever really made a Lego 352 short wheel bed before.
Okay.
I'm not saying first like an outdated YouTube comment. I've just never seen one before.
Yeah, sure. So you wanted to bring it to the table.
Yes, and that's what I did. So this is the 352 short wheel bed CCKW for the Red Ball Express. Typically, I would just use like the Lego grill tiles here, but they actually put the red ball in the grill, so I just made that a printed piece. Just gonna go over printing real quick. We got 3D printed wheels. We got some identifying tiles.
Oh, the grates on the side too, yeah.
As well as the grates on the side. Star on top, star on the doors, and a canvas. Oh, and the 3D printed wheels made by Camera Guy and Amanda. And yeah, just kind of small, short, and to the point. It's got the, you can open this up. You don't even have the canvas on there, but I have it on there just because, you know, it's a convoy truck. It makes
looks
sense.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really glad I kind of convinced Slan to transition away from dark tan for a while to more of the
dingy green almost.
Dingy OD green. I know typically when we use dark bluish gray, it's because OD green doesn't really exist in Lego at all. So dark bluish gray is kind of the closest, and Slan was like, "Oh, if we make this dark bluish gray, we're just kind of admitting that we're just using dark bluish gray to supplement that." I'm like, "Yeah, isn't that the point though?" So
staying within the system.
Yeah, just do that. But yeah, so let me take the truck bed off. So the spare wheels are actually in here, because one of the main things, I'll compare this in a bit, but basically one of the main things to compare the short wheel bed and long wheel bed, apart from like maybe like a 6-inch difference in length, is
in real life.
Is where the spare wheels are held, as well as the lack of cargo boxes on the bottom here, typically on the bottom. Yep, sorry, just didn't mean to get that off. Yep, you can fit a guy in the cargo hold. You can fit a lot of crates and a fair amount of guys in the back. It has the canvas, and I have minifigs, but I don't have army minifigs, and that's what matters. So I'm going to be injected with a crayon later. Anyways, but yeah, so yeah, a little dark tan studs to hold on the canvas, and yeah, it's a nice simple truck, and I brought something to the table that was a bit more different than a typical 353, which I wanted to do, but hey, I just kind of wanted to branch out a little bit.
Well, and I think the combination of the uniqueness of the vehicle itself, and then, you know, this is the first Deuce and a Half we've done, or the CCKW that's had all the new printing capabilities.
That's right,
this is like a beautiful piece to have lead your convoy.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to use these instructions to recreate 9 more trucks behind it.
Yeah, have this one be in front because it looks nice.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I've already made a bunch, so yeah.
Yeah, your convoys are kind of legendary.
Oh yeah, if you saw my stuff at Brickworld, yeah, that's the biggest it's going to be for a while. So yeah, and for here's the closer look at the canvas color to make that consistent. Actually have these side by side. So here's the difference between both of them. I get in the shot. Okay, yeah. So you can see the difference of length. You can definitely see that the spare wheel's here where it's here. There's also a couple containers right here. This one's a little hard to see, but you also got that one. This kit only comes with one minifig, but you know, I just had some Korean War guys to show that off.
Yeah, you've got some extra ones.
Yeah, and I had an idea for this one that got me a lot of flack in the office, but I chose to have 2 options for the printed grills.
Oh, sure, because you wanted
That's what I
armies
meant,
and
yeah.
Marines. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea, interesting execution. Oh well.
We live, we learn. That's how it
and
works.
I don't regret doing that. Because you guys got to have the options for either Army or Marines. And this build, it's a CCKW.
It works for both.
It works for both wars, and it works for both theaters. So you can do whatever with it. Oh, oops. Let's say you don't want a Marine truck. Okay, well, there's an Army grill right there. The numbers are different, but it's the same text. Or you don't want a Korean War Marine truck. You want one for World War II. Well,
Swap your Marines.
here you go. It's that easy. Or mix it up, because basically the Marines have the same uniforms anyway.
It's true.
But yeah, so very similar printing with the back door. We had an interesting time trying to find some of the. You can go down. Find some of the identification markings, but I got a book that'll help us in future.
Cool.
But yeah, there's some identification markings, the printed grills. These stars are stickers because we are not going to cross element print that.
The sides there, yep.
Yep, and we have the star, and like I said, this has the Lego grills. This one has the printed grill. And yeah, there's no canvas top in the back. I specifically requested that because we just kind of wanted an open bay to show off the troops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully your mock has a more orderly fashion than mine. And that about does it for the main 2 CCKWs.
Now we really change it up a little bit.
Oh, this. We have not had a DUKW in 8 years. It's not a hard thing to pull off. So that always kind of mystified me. So I was kind of like, fine,
Now
I'll
it's
do it
remedied.
myself. So,
Well, and I love too, and I'm sure you'll touch on this, but this build is rock solid. I mean, it is a brick, which is a ton of fun to play with. I mean, that's a cool thing to see. Your wheel's a little too far forward.
yeah, well, I didn't build this. So. There we go. Now we can roll. So yeah, this is a DUKW. Here's a side-by-side comparison, because this thing is actually 30 feet long.
I mean, it's literally pretty much a boat hull put around
Yeah,
this,
it's
right?
so basically there's a great picture that I have of where it's just literally the wheel bed, the exoskeleton of this with a little propeller in the back. And they just put a boat hull around it. But you notice that the truck bed is actually slanted downwards towards the cab a little bit. Well, that's because there's a lot of weight in the back, so when it floats, it's kind of like. And you also got the weighting protrusions over here. Technically, it's supposed to be one piece, but I couldn't really figure out how to do it.
It works like a shovel.
And it still
though.
works.
Yeah.
We got a big printed star here. There was no 3D printed wheels on this kit as compared to the other CCKWs because, well, the wheels are kind of hidden, so I kind of figured we don't really need those for this one.
As long as they're functional, right? Exactly.
We got a Marine driver with a backup Lucky Strikes and a Brickmania tire stretcher. It's got a tow hook in the back because all the UKWs had that. And you can put either a bunch of boxes or just a bunch of guys in the back.
Yeah, load it up.
I think, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You can fit 12 guys in here, not even counting this space.
Literally just within the bed portion itself. Well, and I really like the subtle angling that you got here.
Oh yeah, this was actually the last thing I had to figure out.
Really nice detail.
Because I made an original DUKW in I think I originally designed it. Because the DUKW was one of my submissions because back when I was on the retail end, I kind of got bored of the retail end, so I was like, hey, can I try some designs? And this was the 6th one that I did.
Okay.
And Dan was like, interesting, but that didn't happen right away. I came back and again, when I built the first prototype, it was in July of last year, and it still needed a lot of refining. Here's the refinements, and this was the last thing I had to figure out because the windshield on this one's kind of weird. Oh, also printed windshield
Yeah,
pieces.
it's really pretty.
Same with this guy, by the way. I forgot. It's so subtle, it just blends in. Sorry.
Well, and it is kind of just a unique little cockpit itself, the way it kind
It
of
really
sits in
is. Yeah, because you can barely see the two guys kind of.
there. Right. They're way down in there.
They really are. But yeah, I'm definitely very proud that I was able to make this a kit. I'm actually proud of this whole lineup because
Yeah,
I
you should
like
be.
all of them because I didn't get a chance to design this. Really wanted to make the M35 from Vietnam because that's actually what really sparked my design kick back in 2020, July 2020, which evolved into the gun truck Cold Sweat, and y'all know how that went. But yeah, no, this is a natural evolution, and I'm very happy to have had all three of these under my credentials. But let me just hang on. Got to end this with a convoy.
There you go.
Beep.
Yeah. Definitely another excellent example of a lineup that has kind of been missing from the Brickmania itinerary for a while and needed an update. And we definitely got it with this lineup right here.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it for the CCKWs.
Very cool.
Very happy.
There you have it. That's the lineup. That'll do it for the Designer Studio episode. Thank you very much for watching.